There are a lot of issues on the Instacart Shopper app right now, from bots stealing batches to oversaturation of shoppers and shoppers getting deactivated for random reasons that nobody should get deactivated for. Shoppers are looking for other alternatives. Now, one of those is Shipt, but it doesn't operate in all the areas of Instacart, and also they do a lot of picky hiring, so it's not that easy to get hired on with Shipt. And a lot of shoppers are looking to have more ownership over their own business, which is why I decided to try out Dumpling. I wanted to figure out if this app is really as good as it looks. Does it actually pay 2 times as much as Instacart and Shipt? And what exactly do you need to know when you're starting up with Dumpling? Because it's structured quite a bit differently than Instacart and Shipt. So I'm going to show you guys all of that. I'm going to show you guys the sign up process for me to get started, how exactly it works, how you find your own customers, how Dumpling can help you find customers, and how you're able to set your own rates, what the pricing is to get started on the app, and what exactly it looks like to run a shopper business through Dumpling. I'm going to cover all of this, and then I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to help get you started with a Dumpling business if you decide to go this route. So let's start with the first things that you're going to have to do, downloading the app and signing up. There is actually a $10 fee to get started, so there is a little bit that you do need to know with this. While you pay $10 up front, what you're essentially getting access to is a platform where you have a lot more control. But with this greater level of control comes a greater level of responsibility. So while Dumpling will be giving you some clients based upon your zip code, you are responsible for finding a lot of your clients on your own. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to do this at the end of the video. But let's look at what exactly happens once you pay $10 to download the Dumpling app. So once I paid this fee, I had to enter a little bit of personal information about myself. And from there, I could go to the App Store and go ahead and download that Dumpling Boss app. Now, the setup for this app is really similar to a lot of other gig economy apps out there. You do have to enter your direct deposit info. You have to enter your personal info about yourself, where you live, and then you'll enter some info about your webpage. Now, this is something that Dumpling provides when you pay that $10 up front, and this webpage is supposedly going to help you market yourself to your new customers. So a couple of really important things here that you do want to do is once you get to this web page, when you're editing those sections, make sure to check both of these boxes. There's 2 of them here. One of these is for engage and find new clients, and the other is zip code search. So when customers find out about Dumpling, they're going to look for other shoppers in their area, and you're going to want to have a nice photo of yourself and some pretty cool info about yourself, maybe your shopping experience, and maybe something that helps those customers get to know you in the app. And enabling those 2 boxes, letting Dumpling help you find customers, is going to take a little bit of that load off of your shoulders. You'll also notice that there is some pricing involved with running a Dumpling business, so that $10 fee to download the app is not the only fee. You're either going to pay $5 per order or $39 per month. So let's look at exactly how you're going to charge your customers so that we can see, how much these fees are really going to cost you at the end of the day and how much you can make compared with other platforms like Instacart and Shipt. So under the stores and services section of the app, you can actually select which stores you want to shop. And then you can do a couple of things to adjust what exactly customers are going to pay you when you're shopping these stores. Now, the first, probably most important thing here is to decide whether you want to get paid off of a percentage of the total order cost or if you just want to have a flat fee. So the flat fee is originally set at $15. Personally, I think you should always go with the percentage. And that's because the percentage allows you to have that minimum of $15 and then potentially get a higher payout if it's a really big order. So let's say the customer has, a 50 item order. That's going to be a really big price tag. It could cost them $150. So that 15% fee is all of a sudden going to look more like $22.50 for that base charge of your order. You can also set it up so that the customer is paying the credit card fees, and then you'll decide whether or not you want to display gratuity options. I definitely recommend displaying these and setting your gratuity at 20 to 25%. And this is going to provide a nice boost for your payouts. So now that you understand that structure, let's compare it to Shipt and then Instacart. Shipt pays you 7.5% of the order total. So let's look at a similar order that we just looked at with Dumpling. And let's say it's 50 items, $150. 7.5% of that is now a $10.75 payout. So that's half of what you would get through the Dumpling app. But they also allow you to keep 100% of tips. So the tip money is the same here. Instacart, on the other hand, has a wildly different payout structure, which is really kind of difficult to capture and to figure out what you're going to get paid. It does allow for a lot of upside. In my personal opinion, I would say that you can't really guarantee Dumpling is paying twice as much as Instacart, because Instacart orders can pay out 30, 50, even 75 bucks if you get really, really lucky. But because of oversaturation, because of bots, a lot of these orders are really hard to get these days. So that offer of Dumpling to pay 2 times what Instacart is paying may actually end up coming true. And what exactly does Instacart pay out? Well, it's quite a bit more complicated. I've gone into this in other videos, but essentially they guarantee that it's going to be at least a $7 to $10 payout for full service deliveries. They give you 100% of the tip. They also pay you for mileage. They pay you per items. They pay you for heavy items. They have a bunch of different factors that come in here, including some promotions. Now, if you've never worked for Shipt or Instacart, I would actually recommend starting with one of those as opposed to starting with Dumpling. And that's because the lower pay that you're seeing on these apps with Shipt and Instacart is because Shipt and Instacart are taking a fee. They're making money on this. Sometimes they're profitable, sometimes they're not. Lately, these companies have become more profitable, but they haven't always been profitable because they have to spend a lot of that money in order to advertise and bring new customers in, which is now going to become your job on Dumpling. So to just perfect the art of shopping, you should really focus on that one skill. Start with one of these other apps, and then if you realize your market's oversaturated, you're not getting batches, you want to have more control over things, you want to build relationships with your customers, then you can look at coming back and starting up a Dumpling service of your own. But I know that a lot of my audience is already Instacart shoppers, you're already Shipt shoppers, and a lot of you are tired of these apps for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. So what exactly do you need to do to get started with Dumpling? How can you grow this business? Well, I have a couple of recommendations for you. And one of those is going to be to kind of build off of your Instacart clientele. Not by exactly advertising this to specific Instacart customers. I think this would get you deactivated if one of them were to reach out to Instacart and let them know. The same thing with Shipt. I would not ever recommend advertising directly to those customers. But what you could do is print out a flyer to promote your business, have a link to your website, and post that at supermarkets when you're already going out shopping on your own. Now I know what you're thinking. A person who already is going to the grocery store is not going to want to hire a personal shopper to do that shopping for them. Why would they? They're already there. Clearly they don't want that additional cost. But in today's day and age, all it takes is one person to sneeze on them when they're in the store, and all of a sudden they're going to completely rethink the fact that they are risking so much by going into these stores. You also have a lot of elderly people or people who might know elderly people that are going into these stores and may see your advertisement and decide that it's a good idea for them. Speaking of elderly customers, if you've ever delivered an Instacart or Shipt order to an old folks home, an old folks community, this would be a great place to post your flyer. A lot of these places have bulletin boards. You can advertise there. Do something creative with your flyer. Let people know that they are giving directly to independent contractors, not to the platform. They're helping out small businesses. People are becoming very aware of what these gig economy platforms often entail for the independent contractors, how they might not necessarily be good. As this movement grows, as this pushback grows from customers, they are looking for new ways to actually reward people, whether that's just through tipping on the app or finding completely different services. Dumpling is one of those. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video, because I want to get the word out there. I don't know what the future holds for Dumpling, but I would say that if you were going to end up going that route of paying $39 a month, and you are a full-time shopper, so you're doing this, 4 to 7 days a week, all of a sudden that fee that you're paying for the Dumpling app, for that website and the app and all the interface there, that doesn't look so big. That's going to become a very small fee going forward. And that $15 base fee, which could potentially go higher on a bigger order if you're doing the percentage-based structure, plus a tip, is really going to reward you as a business owner. But we need to get the word out there. And Dumpling still has a lot to do to grow on its own. Personally, I haven't had a chance to test out the app myself yet, because they have to send me a Dumpling Boss card. That's my credit card that I'm going to use to pay for these groceries in the store. Now, I believe they use Stripe for the fees, so those are really going to be standard and passed on to the client because that's how I set it up. So I do like that they're sending me their credit card to use. And once I use that, I'll know a little bit more. But what I've heard from other shoppers that have tried Dumpling is that their platform is still pretty robust. So when it comes to actually finding items in the store, scanning them in and getting those for the customer, there's still a lot of room for them to grow and improve, which is once again why I recommend this to veteran shoppers, people who have already started on the Shipt app or Instacart, gone through the basics and know their way around a store. If you've tried out this app or you're thinking about trying it, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your opinion. Make sure you hit this like button, actually smash the like button, because I do want to get the word out there for this. I've been hearing a ton of pushback, a ton of feedback on my other videos about shoppers getting deactivated, about bots, about not having enough batches, and it is time for a change, but we need to get this word out here to potential new customers, because it is definitely a lot of work to start bringing on your own customers to a service. So in order for this to become a big grassroots movement and to actually gain momentum against Instacart and Shipt, we need to be out there spreading the word. And I think it can grow. I think the customer is becoming more aware and they know the downfalls, the pitfalls for independent contractors, and a lot of them want to do what they can to help. I'm really excited to see shoppers out there building their own business, building a relationship with people, and getting those consistent lists. I think it's going to take a lot of stress off of shoppers to have returning customers, have a similar list every single week, build that relationship, build that rapport. It's really an optimistic future for shoppers. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for all of the latest gig economy updates.